Yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Wait, do I have my thing? Okay, good. Yo, what's up, everyone? What's up, people? Hello, people. Seku-Senpai here. And, oh my god, let me move my screen, man. I always keep doing that. I don't want to see myself. Yo, I hate putting my own screen where I see myself on this screen. Like, I don't know why it keeps doing that. Anyways, yo, hello, people. Seku-Senpai here. We're back for some more Umineko When They Cry. Episode 7. Yeah, anyways, last week we started episode 7, and yeah, with our new MC that we have. I'm going to go through their profiles again because I don't remember what's his name, Willard, I think, Knight or something, Hunting, I don't know. But yeah, anyways, yeah, I think hopefully I'm live. Yes, it shows I'm live on Twitch, but I don't know if I'm live on Twitch. I don't know. Yesterday, I actually streamed what shows I'll be watching for the fall season, so feel free to check that out. I was live on Twitch then, but I know that last week when I streamed Umineko, it wasn't showing up on Twitch. Kind of, I don't know, someone rated, and apparently, I guess I was, but then it turns out my stream didn't save, the VOD didn't save or something, so I don't know. Hopefully this one does, but yeah, anyways, yo, let's get this rolling as we see what's going on with this. As we continue the questioning of everybody, we got that whole thing with Rosa last time, which was interesting. Easing her like past pain or whatnot. Oh, wrong screen. So today it looks like we're going to see because he wanted to talk to what's his name, Kinzo. So that'd be interesting. That interaction right there, grumpy Kinzo man. There's been a hot minute since. What? Not since like the beginning. Did we even see him in like episode 6? I'm pretty sure we did, but probably not as much. In fact, the last time we saw a lot of Kinzo was what, the questions arc, like episode 4. What's the episode? No, it had to be episode 5. We actually saw a lot of him in episode 5. I'm wrong. Episode 4, I just feel like we didn't see him. Not episode 6. I mean, I feel like we didn't see him that much, but yo, I mean, I'm always excited to see Kinzo, man. Wild Kinzo. This dude, Kinzo wild. Wild for no reason. Just because he can be. Because he is Kinzo. Wild man Kinzo. Actually, make sure my camera and stuff is syncing up. Hold up. Okay, that's synced up. How about my webcam? Is it delayed? Hopefully it's not. Okay, awesome. I was recording some Elden Ring earlier. And whenever I do that, I have to delay my webcam and stuff so it syncs up with my footage, with my audio and everything. Because the game moves faster than my webcam and stuff. It's technical stuff, man. As usual. It's always technical stuff. Okay, let's get this going, though. Squeaky doors, man. Gotta put on some oil on them. You know, my door was squeaky a while ago. It's like space in my camera. Like, okay, I bought Willard. Willard! Yeah, that was the name. Okay. Let me just go give myself a short recap on these characters. Yeah, then Leon. Almost forgot about Leon. Yeah. So the first child across the Nazi, Jessica, is her second child. So this is also a world where Leon is around as well. Wait. My mistake. Where Leon is around. So the firstborn exists. Nazis didn't have no problems or whatnot. And yeah, interesting. Okay. Leon, dang, this outfit though. I'm not rocking with the outfit. That's all you, Leon. Not my type of outfit. Not my fit. Okay, then we have Willard. Actually, let me check out Willard's profile. He's on the witch's side. Okay. Oh yeah, because he knows burn. A member of the SSVD. Okay, KK. Yep, I remember that. An Ace Inquisitor. Yep, I remember that. Then he got the drip though. Necklace, open long coat, pants, black boots, the belt, this scarf around his waist. Scarf around the waist. Is that how they rock it in the Inquisitor outfits? A V-neck shirt. Okay. One little streak of red. Okay. Despite his flash, his current style is often fickle. He is interesting though. He's an interesting character. Okay, I brought Willard-san. What's up? Kinzo and Genji could be seen in the VIP room. Hold up, let me make sure my audio is playing actually. Hold up, is everything? Okay, everything's good. Yo, I always want to double check. Kinzo was sitting in the chair, his eyes closed as though in troubled sleep.
親方様、お客様がお見えになりました。
Yeah, open your eyes. This dude's sleeping. Kinzo slowly opened his eyes. Those eyes were red from crying. Yep, poor Beatrice, man. His lover. They regained their focus and slowly fell on Will.
私がUshiromiya Kinzoである。
ウィル。
ウィラードだ。
Yep, Willard.
お悔やみ申し上げる。
Oh, thank you. That's nice.
ベアトリーチェの葬儀に訪ねてくると。
Well, not really.
そなたは何者なのか。
誰でもない。誰とも関係ない。
No connection with
深
anyone.
く考えるな。
Okay.
頭痛にならん。
He said don't think about it too much. Ain't that important. Okay, so let me make sure I have this set up over here. Yeah, there we go. Damn, Leon's say pinching this dude's butt. Like,
もう少し言葉遣いにご注意をお願いいたします。
yeah, she said this is the head.
おかしな客人だ。それでこの私に何用か。
They always be having them strange guests.
ベアトリーチェのことを聞きたい。
何？
Kinzo's gaze grew sharp. Leon felt a bit lightheaded and wondered why this guy had been so direct.
聞いてどうする？お前は誰でもないのである。ベアトリーチェのことを知ってどうする？
Hey, yo, what's up, me badada? How's it going? Yeah, definitely, yo. This dude said, "Hey, I'm just here, man. It ain't nothing crazy." When, yo, it is quite bizarre what's happening. Why do you ask? I thought you were no one. Why do you want to know about me? Yeah.
何の意味があるというのか。
俺が誰でもないからこそ、お前の物語を公正に聞き、残すことができる。
That is true. You can't open up to strangers about things because they don't know you.
お前
per
はじき
se.
にこの世を去るだろう。その時、ベアトリーチェのことを何も語らずに死んだのは、お前の子供たちは彼らが好き勝手に考えた物語でベアトリーチェを就職し、
If you die without telling anything about Beatrice, your child will adorn her with her own fanciful tales and your children. Yeah.
面白い若造だ。お前は遺言屋を気取ろうというわけか。だがそれは余計なお世話というものよ。ベアトリーチェは
Mine alone, this dude Kinzo. Obsessed.
我が何を語ろうとも私とあれの物語は誰にも怪我せぬ。何の意味も持たぬ。クラウスたちがどう曲解しようとも痛くも痒くもないわ。
That's nothing to me. Okay. He doesn't care at the end of the day what anyone has to say, basically. He's like, I know Beatrice, so they can think what they want.
何事かを投げ出すお方ではございません。
だろうな。らしからぬこととは思っていた。
誠意ある限りあがいてこそ人間であろうが、それを早々に諦め遺言に残そうという浅ましさなど少子千万。
確かにその方がお前らしい。
That is very
死
Kinzo.
ぬかもしれない
Kinzo thing to say.
過去語りを記せと言い出すのは確かにお前の柄じゃね
当主様がベアトリーチェ様のことを深く深く愛しておられたことは存じ上げております。私たちにとって
What's my volume
当
on?
主様は最大の尊敬の対象であるとともに生きるすべてが模範です。どうか迷える私たちのために
Yeah, tell us.
いかにして
Yeah.
おじい様が彼女を愛し抜いたか 愛ゆえに生き抜いたか。
How your love for her guided you through life.
そ
Okay.
の愛の強さを私たちにお導きくださるようお願いすることはできないでしょうか。
Yeah, tell us about your story, man. Let us know. Leon worded that pretty well, too.
若ず、お前はベアトリーチェの何を知っているというのか。
Well, you know, okay.
真に無知なる者は関心さえ持たぬ。ベアトリーチェの名を知っている時点で無知なる者ではなく、
He is
変
connected,
なき
yeah.
者でもない。
道理だな。
Yep.
俺が知っているベアトリーチェは、お前がかつてロッケン島に屋敷を設ける以前に出会った最愛の女だ。
Yep.
しかし、おそらくは死別して娘を残した。
Oh.
それがクアドリアンで
Was one who was raised in Kuladorian. Haha.
ウィラード様、
Yep.
当ロッケン島に
Hence the other Beatrice,
クアドリアン
the
なる
younger
建物は存在いたしません。
would connect to Rosa.
そのクアドリアンという名前、さっきローザおばさんと話した時にも口にしていました。
Yep, Kuladorian. I always keep forgetting the name of that other mansion. I always just refer to it as other mansion. Okay, flashback time.
愛人の娘を囲うロッケン島の森の奥
His
深くにある
mistress's
隠
daughter
し屋敷の
lived.
名だ。
面白い。クアドリアンの名を知ろうとはな。続けよ。お前に興味が出たぞ。
Kinzo shrugged and grinned.
クアドリアンにいたのはベアトリーチェの娘だろう。だが少なくともお前はそうは思っていなかった。
ほう、ならば何だと思っていたというのか。
後ろ宮ローザはクアドリアンにて多少の身の上話を交わしている。その中でベアトリーチェはお前の
Was
ことを
he
指
was
して
Kinzo, so she didn't refer to him as like a father.
お前を前にしても
Instead,
同じだ。彼女はお前を父と思って
First
い
name
る
basis.
にもかかわらず
she said she.
父とは呼んでいなかった。
Huh.
呼ばなかったのか、呼ぶことは許されなかったのか。
Well, she wasn't allowed to call you that.
それが意味することは一つしかない。
それは何だというのか。
Yeah, this dude Kinzo. Yeah, for real, yeah.
生まれ変わりだ。
Oh.
お前は娘を忘れがたみだとは思わなかった。死んだベアトリーチェが新しい体で蘇ったと信じたんだ。
That makes sense considering how she would. Oh, about to ask Genji actually. That actually would make sense considering how he called her Beatrice
あ
too,
んたはかつて夏日たちの
referring to her as like. Oh, okay. Once in the past, he spoke on front of Natsuki and several other
金
members.
蔵とベアトリーチェに子供はいなかったと証言したことがあるな。
But
記憶にございません。
of course, this game is Genji is probably thinking, yeah, they're from another, yeah. However, near the end of the first game, when the survivors all gathered in Kinzo's study, Genji was asked whether Kinzo and Beatrice ever had a child together, and he denied it, saying, "I have not heard anything like that."
聞いたことがないか。
I have not
ある意
heard
味で
that.
金蔵の腹心らしい模範的な返答と言える。何しろ金蔵にとってその娘は生まれ変わりであって
She was like a
娘
lover.
ではないんだ。
Beatrice reborn.
見る、何の話か分かりませんが、当主様への冒涜は許しませ
I
ん。
mean, if it's the truth, I mean,
冒涜じゃねえ、推理だ。だが心は理解する。
they go back to his heart,
ベアト
the
リーチェ
heart.
はお前にとって最愛の女だ。死んで色あせることなく永遠に。だが美しい金髪に青い瞳を持ち、その面影を幼くして持ち合わせていたその娘をお前は次第に生まれ変わりではないかと信じるようになったとした。それはおかしいことじゃねえ。
Yep.
親方さん、よろしいのです。
Oh, shall I what? Shall I throw this insolent man out? Genji asks Kinzo. For a while, Kinzo hung his head in silence, as though remembering something from his own past.
娘は美しく育ち生き写しにお前は狂気したろうな。だがそれでお前が全て満たされていたかは怪しい。
Beautiful,
な
yeah.
ぜならお前にとってベアトリーチェは
She's not really Beatrice in the
王
end,
の
yeah.
本人にとっては
Didn't feel that way,
そ
yeah.
うではなかっ
He's
た。
not the same person.
なぜそのようなことがわかるのか。
本人は自分がベアトリーチェと呼ばれることに違和感を拭えずにいた。人は生まれながらに与えられた自分の名前に違和感を覚えることになる。だが彼女は覚えた。それはベアトリーチェという名が自分のもので
Then
はない。
Beatrice wasn't hers. Yeah, it wasn't
彼女
who
が
she
自覚
was.
していたに他ならない。
Yeah. Dang. In Kuodorian, she asked both Kinzo and Rosa about who she
わ
was.
らわは何者なのか。みんなはわらわのことをベアトリーチェと呼ぶ。
Ah, that makes even more sense with
それは
that.
確かにそなたの言うように偉大な魔女の名前
As you
だ。
say, yep. But it's not who I am.
しかし
But that's not me,
そ
yep.
れはわらわではないのだ。
Ah.
わらわは魔法など何も使えぬ。わらわはその魔女の魂を
The soul that which sealed within inside my body. Huh.
記憶はいずれ戻ったのだ。
Bro, Kinzo, that is not
紛
Beatrice,
れも
man.
なく
You
ベア
are
トリーチェの生まれ変
you
わ
are
り。
insane thinking
記
that.
憶は
Like
戻りつつあった。我が魔術の儀式によってわずか
My
ずつで
magical
はあるが
rituals.
記憶を取り戻しつつあった。
this dude was like
驚くことじゃねえ。
thanks for the
これまで
subscription.
のゲームの情報を並べりゃ導かれる。そのままの答えだ。上層のベアトリーチェは 生きてる人間が死んだ人間への未練を断ち切るために行うもんだ。それができなかった。だからただれたんだ。
ベアトリーチェ。
Oh man, this dude man.
おじいさま。
He was struggling to utter that O right there.
あんたは愛人の娘。
Beatrice, like, jeez. Sometimes he scratched his head in anguish. Other times he faced the heavens like an opera singer. Kinzo yelled over and over again, repeating Beatrice's name. Man, imagine people in the other room. Before we get that, I was like, yo, imagine people just over here eating and stuff. You hear this dude Kinzo howling in the other room and talking about, oh, Beatrice. Like, at that moment, there was a quiet sound of a door closing. Who? Oh. Kumasawa? That's the name, right? I said Corridorian so many times. I'm just like, right? Yeah, I'm not tripping. Her name is Kumasawa. Yeah, it is Kumasawa. My screen would load. Yeah, Kumasawa. Yeah. When they turned around, she was already there. Kumasawa had appeared. Yeah.
そこまでをご存知でしたら、もうすべてをお話ししてもよろしいのではありませんか。
Oh, she's down to just let it all. Okay, by all means.
そこまでを知るならこれ以上何も語ることなどないとも思うが。
いいえ、語るべきでございます。
Genji trying to keep the secrets, but I'm with you, Kumasawa. Tell, by all means.
私は女としてクアドリアンのベアトリーチェ様のお心を誰かに伝えねばと。
It is a sad storyline. She's over here raised in this.
人間が現れました。今こそすべてを包み隠さずお話しすべき時かと存じます。
That she's over here like this other Beatrice raised on this island for only one purpose, and that's to be like the old Beatrice. Then you got this dude Kinzo. This dude Kinzo over here being wild with it. Man.
熊沢さんは知っているのですか？
Yeah, by all means. Let's, for real. Let's go with this.
知ってるだろう。第4のゲームの時、連絡船の船長は熊沢がクワドリアンに出入りしていたことを証言した。
I remember that.
おそらく熊沢は屋敷とクワドリアンの双方で異なる勤務シフトを持っていたに違いない。
So she knew other Beatrice, of
若い
course.
娘の世話だ。育児経験の豊富な熊沢はさぞ重宝されただろう。
Yep.
さようでございます。
Okay.
乳母であったとおっしゃっていただいてもよろしいかと思います。
Her wet nurse. Okay.
信じられない。本当に
I've never heard of that
ウィル
phrase
ソンの
ever,
話は
but
本当なんですか？
now I do.
はい、事実でございます。ベアトリーチェ様のために島の反対側に建てられた秘密の屋敷クワドリアンの存在は真実でございます。
Yep.
金蔵が正妻といつ結婚したかは知らない。
Made this whole
当時
like secret mansion
すでに
for
莫大な財産を持ち
secret daughter. like,
剣島を丸ごと買い取った
more like
金蔵
secret
は
lover.
交わらぬ2つの屋敷を建てて、そこに2つの生活
Two
を両
separate
立さ
lives.
せ
Yep. Kinzo's children had also been aware of Kinzo's clandestine eccentricities at the time. It probably hadn't been easy to set up two lives. Moreover, Kinzo's wife had been suspicious and had sniffed around all the time.
親方様はお時間の許す限り、時にはご出張と偽られ、何日も滞在され、
This is so crazy.
ベアトリーチェ様との生活を大切になさいました。それ
Man,
は親子としての関係だけで
I'm
な
on a
く、
business trip
亡
on
き
the
ベアトリー
island,
チェ
like
様への深い愛を垣間見れる
taking care of business there too.
温
Like,
まるものでござ
man,
いましたとも。
それは亡きベアトリーチェの代用品として扱ったこともあったと言っているようにも聞こえるな。
yeah, no doubt about it, he did.
そう聞こえたなら申し訳ございません。
I feel like that's what it's
ベアトリ
more
ーチェ
like.
様は父からの愛は一心に受けられていたでしょう。しかし時にご自身に理解できぬ愛を強いられていたことは否定できません。
Kumasawa was telling me it sounds as though that she was scolding Kinzo. As a mother who had raised many kids, Kumasawa had probably spotted that Kinzo's love was often of a mistaken sort. However, it was the more the girl grew to look like her mother, the more distorted and twisted Kinzo's heart became. Because of his deep love, it grew very, very twisted. Ugh, you know what that means. I already know what that means. Yuck.
我が友よ、分かっておる。我が愛は永遠に不滅。
Really twisted.
な
Ugh.
れど、それが間違った相手に注がれたことがあったの。私は認めねばならぬ。
おじい様、そんな、まさか。
Yes, he does mean.
世の中のすべての人間には身に覚
Hey,
え
we,
がある
we all know we're like
必ず
the
何か
cuss.
の縁が
Like,
ございます。その縁
Man.
が人に絡みつき引き寄せるのでございます。
そんな、おじい様。
just as Kinzo had done, Leon also wiped away tears and stared at the floor. Apparently, the truth had been too much of a shock for the young sister to handle. Man.
親方様、もう語る時ではございませんか。
Oh, what? What's up, man?
その時が来たか、我が友よ。
あんたが語らなきゃ何も真実は明らかにならない。
Yeah,
親方様、もはや知る権
they may
利
have
と
the
資格が
qualifications.
あるかと思い
As
ま
much as we've
す
been told, we definitely have the
分かって
qualifications.
いる。
How much we know and
今
everything.
日という
Yeah,
私の気ま
continue
ぐれな
telling
そ
us,
の
like, keep
天
speaking.
のベアトリーチェが贖罪の機会を与
To
え
the
たの
tone.
だ。
Okay.
今日まで話さなかったことを許せ。
After taking a deep breath, Kinzo finally lowered his hands that had been covering his face, and looked at Will and Leon with those red eyes.
おじい様。
リオンも聞け、客人。ウィラードと言ったか。
あ
Why I get suddenly nervous? Like I feel like I'm about to hear something that I don't want to hear,
この
really.
私が
Or
自
kind
ら
of
の
want to
口
hear,
より
but
真実を話せるうちに、このお前はきっとベアトリーチェより使わされた天の使いに違いない。感謝する。
その機会を設けたのはベアトリーチェじゃねえ。どこぞの魔女だ。いや、どっちも魔女には違いね
These witches, man.
お前が誰でもよい。私に聞
Oh yeah, high key, not hard to guess. Yeah,
それで十分。
Witches.
監視す
This is
る
nasty.
ミラード
Like, oh man. Kinzo slowly stood up and held out his right hand. He was offering to shake hands. Oh, must have been Kinzo's way of expressing gratitude. I never did. I think I'd see the day where Kinzo would put out his hand to shake. Like, okay, make sure my camera wasn't lagging. Will responded. Then the two hands gripped each other tightly in silence. When they did, the bright light poured out from the gap between the two hands. Will felt as though something the size of a grain had burned itself into his palm. The size of a grain. It was that power that Broken Steel gave him. The light grew brighter and brighter. However, it seemed that Kinzo and the others could not see it.
今こそ語る私がベアトリーチェにベアトリーチェ・カスティリオーニに出会ったのは終戦の
Oh, true. That's another thing to think about too.
海の向こうからやってきた
Beatrice Castiglione. Beatrice what? Okay. Oh. Wait, who?
お前は
This is younger Kinzo? It's me.
昔の
Yo,
おじい様です
for real, that last name, what was it? Castiglione? Like, it's how. Okay, so Kinzo. Okay. Kinzo was a little built in the past. Okay.
ベルンカステルの触れ
In fact,
感
he
激
always has like so many layers on, so we don't know how, like how.
無理に
Okay.
理解するな
頭痛
He's
に
have
な
his
ら
cloak over.
分かってきたな
It's a cool cloak, though. At one time, Genji told Battler that he looked like Kinzo in his youth. Does he? Hold up. Let's spec this out. Sure enough, though the young Kinzo wasn't exactly the same as Battler, they looked very similar.
改めて名乗ろう。私が後宮金蔵である。
おじい様
Even the voice seems to resemble Battler somehow. Yeah. This dude. Daisuke Yono. Clearly Battler had inherited Kinzo's blood more thickly than any other.
私は後宮家など継ぎたくはなかっ
He didn't want
た。
to.
私が当主に選ばれたのは
Yeah, it was, yeah,
運命の
because
いたずらに過ぎ。
関東大震災で主だった者が死にたい
time
分
dropping
家筋の
Battler.
お前が抜擢する
The great earthquake. Yep, those in charge passed away, and then
そうです
only he was left.
おじい
Man,
様は若くて
imagine something like that happening though.
当主にふさわしい貫禄を若くしてお持ちの方でしたから
And considering he was a distant branch, like, that's like I have some distant branch of relatives. They own something big business. They pass away. And then I'm like the next one and I didn't even know or something. Or maybe he knew already that he would, well, whatever the case is. Now you have this responsibility given to you that you weren't prepared for.
とんでもない。欲深な長老たちは互いの利益ばかりを主張し合い、新しい当主を選び出すことさえできなかったのだ。まるで沈みゆく船で新しき船長は誰かと議論するような愚かさよ。
だからこそ
Oh,
本家の誰ともしがらみのないお前が突然に
yep,
抜擢を
right out
受け
the
た
blue.
すべてはこの足の指のせいだ。
Yeah, he got them toes, man. That extra toe. Or one fewer, right? Yeah, one fewer
我
toe,
が
yeah.
人生は全く異なるものになっていたであろう。
In the Ushiromiya family, polydactyly was seen as a sign of good fortune. This was because it was a common factor among many of the greats in the family's history.
くだらぬ話よ。長老どもは 自分たちの誰も得をしない馬の骨であれば誰でもよかった。
Okay.
たまたま分家筋に両足の指が6本ある者がいると耳に入
Yep.
り、それでいいと決まったわけ。
そういうことだ。長老ども、自分たちの操り人形になるなら次期当主などどこの青二歳でもよかったのだ。むしろ帝王学に無知な人間ほど好ましい。
おじい様。
リオン、お前は違う。お前は我が全てを受け継ぐ者だ。
Yep.
お前が生を受けた日よりそれは運命づけられていた。だからこそお前に銀の指輪を与え厳しく育ててきた。
Okay. You were quite different, yeah. From how he had to deal with all this, so.
立派な当主跡継ぎであるぞ。
はい。
Hey, that's a little nice there.
操り人形
It's weird saying younger Kinzo say
気
that
楽なものじゃねえ
with
だろ。
like the battler voice. As he pondered about where to begin, Kinzo laughed. It would probably bring back nothing but painful memories, and no matter where he started from.
あれはあまりに長い長い。それは私には岩に蒸す苔のような。
I became the rope in the tug-of-war battles between the elders, who thought of nothing but their own profit, and I probably could have snapped at any moment. However, people are far more resilient than one would think. Though I spent so many days like a dead man, I was not killed, so I would have to search for a death on my own. The next thing I knew, I had reached the age when I could no longer refer to myself as young, without drawing laughter from those who were. They were long, dreary, gray days without any substance. Dang. I'm thinking about this, yo, dang, the day will come where you'd be saying that and people would be like, you ain't young, like, and they lasted for a full 20 years. In 20 years, a person can be born, find a purpose, and even become their own man and their own place in the world. In short, if one truly becomes a human only when they have become a working adult, then I spend an amount of time long enough to create a human, doing nothing except playing the part of puppet to those greedy old men. Okay, I follow. Ironically, though that time aged my body, it didn't change my mind. It didn't age in my mind? Is that what? Yeah, it did not age in my mind. In my heart, I was still young, and I looked back fondly on the fulfilling days before I was summoned to Odawara. Only my body continued to age, and at some point, the gulf between the two had widened to the point that it was hard to comprehend. So I could hardly believe that the worn-out man in the mirror was really me. No, it wasn't really me. It was the head of the Ushiromiya family, in name only. I had no rights, no autonomy. There was no need for me to do anything other than what was asked of me. I was just a doll sitting there on a shelf gathering dust. Interesting that. Okay. I remembered nothing but lazily flipping through Western books I liked, locking myself up in my own world. Doing nothing but playing with roses and drinking terrible drinks. So this dude Kinzo always liked terrible drinks from back then, and it lasted a full 20 years. Before I knew it, I had a stranger for a wife. It wasn't any wife I had chosen. She was someone that the elders had chosen and forced on me for their own reasons, a daughter of some noble family or something. But that hardly matters to me. I did not love my wife, and neither did I dislike her. Okay. I just didn't care. I fathered a few children, but that wasn't out of love for my wife. They were just born before I knew it. That's all there was to it. None of it mattered. No, that's not quite right. Everything was decided by someone other than me, and I simply obeyed. That was the job of the Ushiromiya family ahead. Dang, they make it. Yo, Kinzo's backstory, man. Jeez.
このまま自分は静かに殺されるなど。
Yeah.
信じられません。強胆なる名君と称えられたおじい様がそのような日々を送っていたなんて。
That's the truth behind that. You know, we always see this dude Kinzo as one. We've only seen one side of him, and then learning the background was like, dang.
リオンよ、自ら生きぬ人
The
生
time before O Beatrice, man.
希薄で長いものはない。
Exactly, like, geez, it's always make them babies, raise them babies.
なのに
Man,
それはあっという間に過ぎ去る。
put strict rules on them. Make them choose who their wives and husbands are going to be. Like, jeez.
自ら
It's
生きる人生。
生きるってことは意志を持つということ
but he
だ。
didn't have his own free
殺
will.
された日々だったろうよ。
Mm-hmm.
そう
Exactly. So
私は生きたかった。いや、死にたかった。操り人形はどうすれば死ねる？
cut its strings. Well, no,
Ito.
then it'd be free.
断ち切ることです。
Yeah. Well, that too. Yeah.
そうだ。
Mm-hmm.
それが死ぬことであり、生きることであり、
It'd be life and it'd be
解
release.
放だ。
Huh. Before I realized it, the world had grown troubled. World War II. The Pacific War. Japan had extended their war fronts too far to the east and west, and the tide of the war was changing. Yeah. Yo, what up, bro? Soap. Thanks for the influence by the elders, I was able to avoid conscription. Of course, this was not out of compassion for me. Much appreciated. It is because I was their precious puppet. So the war never really felt that close to me. However, when I personally decided to abandon their protection, it was very easy. At that time, the Ushiromiya family had almost completely collapsed. Yeah. The elders had apparently pilfered enough of the scraps to last them the rest of their lives. They seemed to care little for what I did, now that they no longer had any use of me. Just like that, tossed him aside, used up part of his life where he felt he wasn't really living, and then threw him aside. That's this. So I realized I had finally found my time to die. One by one, I cut the threads I was hanging from and began to search for a place to end my life. Ugh. Man.
戦地で死を求めようとしたのか。
同じ死ぬなら、誰かの役に立つべきと思った。いや、違うな。私には自らの命を絶つ気力さえなかったのだろう。
Yeah.
もっともらしく死ねる理由が戦争だったのだ。
おじい様は土木建築の知識がありましたので、海軍設営隊にて施設造成などに従事された。
Oh yeah, it was great.
とんだ誤算よ。何の取り柄もないと言っておけば、すぐにも死ねる最前線へ送られたものを。
最前線に行かずに済んだのか。
幸いと喜ぶ仲間もいたよ。
Okay.
私には逆だった。戦って死ぬという出来すぎた美酒の焼け酒が欲しかっただけなのだ。忘れられた島の上空を米軍の編隊は横切っていくだけ。
War.
彼らは私のために爆弾一つどころか鉛玉の一つさえ恵んではくれなかったのだよ。
Well,
おじい
man.
様はその日々の中で
Yeah, I was about to ask that. Yeah, when did he meet Beatrice? On the battlefield? Like,
あれは海からよ。
from the sea.
どこであった？島と言ったが。
ここだよ。
It was on here. Okay, Rokkenjima.
お前たちはロッケン島で出会っていた
By
というの
just
か。
war or
どういう
like
ことですか？
like what? Yeah.
おじい様がロッケン島を買い取るまでは
Yeah, it
無
was.
人島だ
Yeah.
ったと聞いています。
So
この島に日本軍の基地があったなどとは初耳です。
そうだな。あんなものは基地とは呼ば
okay,
ぬ。
so they did have
た
like
だ
a
の
small.
岩窟よ。
It was just a cave.
私
Okay.
はその岩窟の番人だったのだ。
So he was over here guarding a cave, huh? Yeah, you could barely call that a base. That's a cave. Oh, what year did that say? Oh, man. Due to the honorable defeats at Sapin and... Okay. Due to the honorable... Okay, 1944. Due to the honorable defeats at Saipan and Guam, Japan's absolute national defense zone strategy was in shambles. Where had the gallantry of the start of the war gone? The old attackers were now the ones on the defensive. At the time, it was said that the final trump cards for the Japanese military were the so-called special attack weapons. It was said that these ultimate weapons were packed with 155 tons of explosives. Damn, that's a lot of explosives. And capable of sinking any kind of warship with a single blast. To strengthen the homeland's defense, the Navy drafted a plan to build a string of hidden bases from Higurashi to Yokosuka, all the house submarines loaded with special attack weapons.
八丈島に基地が作られたことは知っていました。しかしそれがロッケン島にもあったなんて。
So there was a military base on, or some base on
こんな何もない島に作ろうと言い出したやら。秘匿上の都合
Maybe.
バカバカしい。お上の考えることなどわからぬし。私にとってもどうでもいいことだった。
It makes sense. These were truly ultimate weapons, able to take down large warships and aircrafts. It was hoped that the presence of submarines capable of loading these weapons in the waters just off Japan would allow for a powerful sea ambush as a final line of defense. Yo, for real. We getting some historical, like, stuff right here. So to aid in the establishment of a base with absolute secrecy, the uninhabited island Rokkenjima was raised as a possible candidate. Okay. An investigation of the island resulted in the discovery of a large cave in the cliffs, and this was apparently deemed to be a suitable location for a submarine base.
お前はその基地の建設に関わったわけか。
建設岩窟を掘り広げただけを
So he dug out a
建
little
設と呼
cave.
ぶならな。
Man.
しかもその上、基
Oh
地
yeah,
は未完成
definitely.
のまま
Yeah.
放置されたのだから。
どうしてです？
当時の日本にそいつを詰めるほどの大型潜水艦はもう残っていなかったのよ。滑稽な話だ。潜水艦もないのに潜水艦基地など今さら必要なものか。
True, that's
役人の無意
what's
味
the
な
point?
ものづくりは今も昔も変わらぬわ。
Yo, that's so true. The base on Hochijojima was actually outfitted with one of those weapons and became a base for direct attack, but Rokkenjima was never supplied with anything. Not only that, they cancelled the construction work entirely, leaving only a crew of minimal sized stationed on the island, awaiting for orders from above that never came. Could it be the fact that it was a hidden base sealed our fate? The higher-ups had already completely forgotten about this useless and pointless cavern. We were nothing more than guards for a mere cave. We spent our days farming, fishing, and playing with the dirt, all the while gazing up at the American formations flying past. Some of our group were relieved at the prospect of the war ending before anyone remembered we were here, and before any of us had to face a real battle. Of course, it was opposite for me. I helped beyond hope for the American troops to advance and kill me as soon as possible. And then on one of those hollow days, let's go back there now. Back to the turning point in my life and my fate. When Ushiromiya Kinzo finally became alive. Yep, okay. Yeah, let's get to this. Let's get to when Beatrice entered this story. Oh.
貴様たるんでいるぞ。
Sailor Republic.
決戦は間近というのに、そのへっぴり腰は何か。
Stars seemed to spin around inside my head. I could just lie down on the floor, but that'd only make him more angry. I have no intention of being obedient. Still, it'd be stupid to get myself punched for no reason, so I got up and stood at attention. The fight is close, is it? You really think the American troops are likely to show up on this forgotten island? Then let them come right now. That's what I've been waiting for all this time.
その腐った目つきは何か貴様そんなに死にたくないかそんなに米兵が恐ろしいかそんな気合では撃ち取れんぞ
Yeah, you don't plan on killing any of them. Oh, and then he hit him? Could you please quit with your whining already? Filthy cowards. They gave themselves over to the inexplicable anger because it's the only way to distract themselves from their own fear. Heart and spirit aren't any use when the battle becomes hopeless. When trapped by an insurmountable hopelessness, humans rely on several other emotions to escape their fear. These young, inexperienced soldiers found anger to be a very convenient emotion to fall back upon. They did drills by shouting in loud voices and swinging their baboon spears around. Drinking the wine called anger was simply what they needed to do to numb their fear. The more one drinks wine, the more one needs to drink to get drunk. The useless anger continued to pile up day after day without pause. As for me, I did not fear death, so I had no need of the wine called anger. This made their cowardice all the more apparent to me.
その目つきだ後ろ宮貴様の魂は腐りきっておるわ魚だ
You're a fish?
貴様の目は死んだ魚の目だ
Huh. However, it went both ways. Just as I was able to spot their cowardice, they were able to pick up on my lethargy.
後ろには金蔵はいるか注意殿がお呼びだ立て
Man.
もたもたするな駆け足
First Lieutenant Yamamoto was the commanding officer in charge of Rokkenjima's garrison. He was just another filthy coward trying to forget his fear with violence, and would reprimand his subordinates for slacking off at the drop of a hat. The stories of his life he spout off when in a good mood were all about how much of a thug he'd been, ignoring the rules of society. Yo, I was literally thinking of Origaru with Hachiman. On and on. When they say whenever they mention dead fish eyes anywhere, I always think of him. On and on about how so and so was a prick, so he taught him a lesson, or how everyone was scared of him. Oh yeah, he's talking about this lieutenant or something. Or yeah, lieutenant. Yeah. He kept on talking about what a vile human he was, as though he was a badge of honor. Normally, I had nothing to do with this disagreeable lieutenant. He would always hang around with his non-commissioned subordinates, so as long as I treated him with a snappy attitude, I could more or less ignore him for the time being. Now that the construction project on this island had been suspended indefinitely, there was no longer any use for an engineer like me. So why did the lieutenant ask for me specifically? At that moment, I couldn't think of anything.
後ろ宮
Yep.
貴様は外国語が堪能であると聞いたが事実であるか
英語と中国語を話せるであります
Okay. The lieutenant liked to brag about his education in front of the non-commissioned officers, but he held a bit of a grudge against me for being even more highly educated than him. Okay, that's why he didn't like him. He also felt uncomfortable about having me as a subordinate because he was younger than me. So, because he was younger, okay. So I was definitely not the kind of person that he could hit it off with. Just the fact that I knew several languages must have hurt his
な
pride.
らばイタリア語はどうか
わかりません
では貴様にイタリア人との通訳は務まらんというわけ
英語を喋れる者がいれば可能と思います
なるほど確かに
Yeah, true. That's. Do any of them speak another language? Like.
貴様外国人と英語で話した経験はあるのか？
あります。
Why on earth would he need an interpreter in a cave on an uninhabited island that even our superiors have forgotten? Yeah, what's that about? His question made it clear that someone who would need an interpreter would be visiting Rokkenjima. Yeah.
よし。後宮。貴様
But
を俺の通
why
訳に
are
命
they
じ。
coming here? That evening, I found exactly what he was talking about. That pointless cavern submarine docked that had never been used was now being approached slowly by a submarine of the Italian Navy. The music though. Before I knew that the Italians had been our allies. However, this is the first time... Oh yeah, of course, yeah. This is the first time I had seen anything from their military with my own eyes.
どうしてイタリア軍が確か1943年にイタリアは降伏しているはずです。これはどういうことでしょう？
降伏したのはイタリア王国だ。だが、それを受け入れない者たちは、親独政権 RSI を樹立させ。
Okay, I didn't know that.
RSI
イタリア社会共和国
Italian Social Republic, huh?
別にサロ共和国
Okay.
詳しいな。
Tempo change?
何も知らぬ者はイタリアは数軸国の中で1943年にいち早く降伏した腰抜けなどと呼んでいる。それは間違いだ。イタリア社会共和国軍は開戦から1945年4月29日まで
I'm jamming
勇
to
敢に戦った。
over here jamming to his music, and he's over here talking about these different like historical dates and whatnot.
ベルリン降伏はその3日後
And
で
then after that,
腰
yep.
抜けどころか大健闘だな。しかし RSI 海軍が日本まで航行できるような潜水艦を持って
Yeah, that's far
驚きだ。
from over there to Japan. Like,
そうでなくともはるばる日本までやってきたこと自体が驚きです。
yeah.
彼らはなぜ日本にロッケン島に
Yeah, it's Rokkenjima. Yeah, what's going on here? The submarine was both weather-worn and massive. This dock had never been used by any one of our own country's submarines. Doubt anyone here imagined that it would end up welcoming in one from a far-off nation. Yeah. All of the guards of Rokkenjima, of which there were only about 30, only 30 guards, stood at attention as the submarine docked.
イタリア軍なんか初めて見たぞ。なんでも事故か食雷で航行不能になったんだぞ。換気装置がやられて塩素ガスが換気できなくなったって聞いたぞ。注意殿の話によると何か重要なものを運んでるって話。暗号変換器か新型エンジンなんかの設計図じゃないか。俺は常に云々より上層部がまだここを覚えててくれたことの方が驚きだぜ。
後宮、早く来い。
Yeah, they know that they exist and stuff like.
はい、注意殿。
Go back. Yes, sir. On top of the hatch was a young Italian saluting us. Normally this would have been the job of the commissioned officer, but his clothes looked like those of a sailor. And it really didn't look like he had the dignity and composure of the ship's captain. That probably meant that all the commissioned officers in charge had died in the accident that had befallen the sub. Crew members crawled out of the hatch one by one. They all looked pale and entirely worn out. I wasn't sure how long ago the accidents had happened, but being crammed together in a tiny sub filled with chlorine gas for any amount of time can be, that's not good for your health. Chlorine gas. Adding to the problem of the broken ventilation system was the fact that they couldn't afford to travel about carelessly on the surface of the waters around Japan right now. They had essentially traveled here inside a can of poison gas. Almost all of them were unable to walk without leaning on someone else. It looked like a bunch of people staggering out of a hospital boat.
後宮、 艦長は誰か聞け。私がこの島の指揮官であることを説明せよ。
Okay.
ようこそ日本へ。英語がわかるの。
The crew members seemed to understand that I was speaking English, but it looked as though none of them could speak it. Eventually, someone who seemed to be dressed as an officer saluted.
ようこそ日本へ。艦長でありますか。
I can not speak English.
Oh no.
Please wait.
Okay. The officer answered in a slow, elaborate English. After asking us to wait, he shouted something to his subordinates in rapid Italian. Looked as though he was telling them to get someone among them who could speak English.
後ろ宮、何と言っている。
待てと言っています。英語のわかる人間を呼んでいるのかもしれません。
At that moment, I heard a high-pitched cough. Like, it wasn't a man's cough. It was a woman's. What does a high-pitched cough even sound like? Oh!
私英語わかるわ。
Hey! As she came down the hatch, a woman with beautiful golden hair said this in English. In this filthy cavern, the appearance of one as beautiful as she seemed like an angel descending upon us.
ようこそ日本へ。艦長はいますか。
艦長は死んだわ。
Oh, R.I.P. Captain.
士官はあそこの彼だけよ。
お悔やみ申し上げます。何かお手伝いはできますか。
新鮮な空気と水が欲しいわ。
Well, we would like some... Okay.
まだ息のある人間もいる。休ませる場所が欲しいわ。
協力しましょう。他に英語のわかる人間はいますか。
いたけどみんな死んだわ。
But they're all dead.
私だけよ。
Okay.
後ろ宮、女は何を言っている。
Relax, man.
さっきの男なのか。
Jeez.
その女は何者なのか。早く通訳しろ。
Lieutenant wouldn't shut up. He must have been surprised to see such a beautiful woman appear on the submarine. Lieutenant, you need to chill. This is Kinzo's girl. I'm more than a little annoyed to see all of her attention focused on me alone. This dude jealous right here. It was the mark of how divinely beautiful she was.
注意殿、彼女だけが英語をわかるようです。彼女が彼らの通訳になります。
Yeah, it means that she'll be talking to me.
代表者は先ほどの士官のようです。
うるさくあなたに叫んでいる男は何者？まさかあなたの上司なの？
不幸なことに、私が美しいお嬢さんを独り占めしているのが気に入らないんです。
Definitely not, for sure.
東洋人にお世辞をもらえるとは思わなかったわ。
Oh?
綺麗な英語ね。あなたは育ちが良さそうだわ。怒鳴ってるみっともない男とは大違い。あなたがここの将校だったらよかったのに。
They're already hitting it off just like this.
私も西洋人にお世辞をもらえ
Yeah,
ると
both
思いませ
flirting
んでした。
already, like... Hey.
あなたは面白い人だわ。名前は？
後宮金蔵です。よろしければお嬢さんの名前をぜひ。
ベアトリーチェ・カスティリオーニ。
That's
ようこそ。
Okay.
ベアトリーチェ、
Mm-hmm.
日本へ。
And that's how it started. Oh, man, every time I turn my head for a second, they switch
イ
it
タ
up.
リア人だったのですか？
Yeah. So that was when I first met Beatrice, a woman who would capture my heart for the rest of my life. Yup. So Beatrice was Italian.
そうだ。彼女は RSI 交換の娘だった。どうやら彼女の父親こそが一番の罪人だった。
Interesting.
残念ながらロッケン島にたどり着いた時にはもう死んでいた。
その交換がなぜ日本に？スエズ運河からインド洋を越えてはるばる日本まで来たというのか。
Yeah.
確かに。
Like,
同盟国としてはドイツの方がはるかに近いはず。
yeah, sure, yeah, we're
なぜわざ
closer,
わざ日本
so
までやってきたのでしょう。
yeah, what's up with that?
途方もない規模の遠大な作戦か何かだったのか。
Outrageous strategy, most likely, huh?
その全容はわからぬ。その潜水艦がただならぬ任務を帯びていたらしいことは後に理解することとなる。
Okay. Ooh. They said that there had been about 60 of them, and yeah, they did say that before. However, only about 10 of them, including Beatrice, had survived. Dang, so they lost a lot. Man. The submarines had apparently hit a mine or something in nearby waters and sustained a great deal of damage. They told us that it had flooded rapidly water which had taken out the batteries and released a large amount of chlorine gas. The sub had become completely incapable of continuing further. Nothing but a massive lump of metal floating in the dock. Since the sub seemed to be carrying something of immense value, the higher-ups ordered us to investigate. After questioning the Italians, with Beatrice and me acting as double interpreters, we concluded that this thing of immense value must have been her father himself. Apparently Beatrice's father was extremely high up in the RSI hierarchy, and it was thought that he might have worked alongside the Italian Prime Minister himself. Though their massive voyage had apparently been part of some top-secret mission, now that the man himself and all the commissioned officers had died, the reason for coming to Japan remained a mystery. And since the higher-ups were telling us to investigate, that means that even they didn't know what was up. The ships had broken down, the mission was unknown, and the high official they had been carrying was dead. And even the Japanese government didn't know why they were here. So they're just here and... wow. The Italians' great and perilous voyage had come to a meaningless and utterly fruitless end. And so now they're just here. Okay.
日本の潮風はてっきり醤油の匂いがすると思ってたわ。
Yo. Yo. What?
お互い様です。イタリア人の髪はパスタでできてるって思ってました。
あら、そうなの？
Oh.
アルデンテに仕上げるには茹で加減が難しいの。だから日本人はみんなスパゲティネイロだわ。
よくご存知で。日本人はシャンプーの代わりにイカスミを使います。
金蔵はすごいわ。何でも知っているのね。
Yeah,
イタリア
these two
に来たこ
hitting
と
it
もある
off.
の？
ありません。しかし本はいろいろと読みました。
東洋人がイタリアの本を？へえ。例えばどんな？
ニッコロ・マキャベッリ、
Nicola, okay.
ダンテ・アリギエーリ。だからあなたが永遠の淑女であることも存じていますよ。
おお、なんてこと。
Hey.
金蔵はとんでもない
Flattering
勉強
her,
家だわ。
flattering with knowledge,
あなた
man.
はひょっとして日本では高貴な家の出身なのでは？
さあどうでしょう。
あなたは他の野蛮そうな日本人とはまるで違うわ。私にはわかるの。あなたはきっと大きな家の人間だわ。後宮家は日本の貴族の家柄なの？
Well,
とんでもない。紡績で一山当てただけのただの成金の一族です。私が勉強していたのは高貴なるものとしてのたしなみではなく、
yeah.
何をすることも許されなかったら
Yeah, that's...
本を読むかバラをいじるか酒に溺れるかしかやることがなかったからですよ。
Beatrice hadn't asked that question at Malice. It had just been a curious question asked to a friend from a faraway country. However, Beatrice was from a noble family herself, so she could tell. She could see the faint, gloomy look on Kinzo's face.
許して金蔵、あなたのような高貴な人がどうしてこんなおかしなところで兵卒の身分に甘んじているのか。
Like I was supposed to, like you would be, huh?
深く考えなかったわ。
私の一族などどうでもいいことです。死ねば後ろ宮などという姓は何の意味もない。そしてそれこそがようやく私を解き放ってくれるのです。
Oh. Oh man, I heard a crazy sound. Someone's vacuuming. Sounds like someone's scratching the walls. It's just the vacuum downstairs. Man, it scared the heck out of me. So you joined the army because you wanted to die. Yeah.
そんな のダメ。家族が悲しむわ。
Hey, if he didn't join the army, he would have met you, though. I mean, that's an optimistic way to look at it, maybe.
私には誰も
I have a wife for the sake of public appearances and children. However, I've never wanted any of them. Everything is a fleeting daydream created by selfish, greedy old men. So, at least being stuck on this island, I can forget about all that and find some peace. Peace? But haven't I spent each and every day complaining that I wasn't sent to the front and haven't managed to die yet?
私にあなたの苦しみはわからないけれど、私の心ない言葉が傷つけてしまったことはわかるわ。許して、金蔵。
Forgive me, Kinzo. Oh, those words. I think they set me free. Yeah. All the Japanese people call me Ushiromiya. Battler. Oh, man. Every time I hear it, it's constant reminder that I'm the property of Ushiromiya family. But she is different. Honestly, I've never heard the name Battler until I actually into Umineko, so. But she is different. She calls me Kinzo, not Ushiromiya. So maybe just for the time I chat with her like this, I can forget that cursed family.
Kinzo.
I hadn't meant to make Battler be. Oh man. I hadn't meant to make Beatrice feel guilty, but she seemed certain that her thoughtless words had hurt me.
ありがとう。あなたが私を金蔵と呼んでくれるから、私はやっと自分を取り戻すことができる。私はようやく本当の意味で私を見てくれる人に出会えた気がします。
See you for who you are, man.
金蔵、あなたはとても遠い異国で出会った外国人だけれど、あなたの心はとても繊細で美しい。
Man, yo.
私たちはきっと近所に住んでいたならとても当たり前な友人になっていたわ。
Yo, O's been hitting this whole stream, man. Yo, I'm liking seeing these two chapters. Okay.
あなたは私のことをベアトリーチェと呼ぶ。カスティリオーニのご令嬢とは呼ばないわ。
I guess call me Beatrice. Okay. We were both in the same position. Her Castiglione family must have been a rigid place as well. Though we came from different countries, we had finally found something we could truly understand about each other.
金蔵は親しい者にはなんて名前で？
Does he? Keen? Like...
いえ、普通に金蔵と呼ばれていました。
Okay.
じゃあ、あなたは私をベアトリーチェと呼ぶのを改めるべきだわ。親しい人間は私のことをビーチェと呼んでいた。あなたもそうしてくれると嬉しいわ。
Wait, call you what?
わかりました。これからは親しみを込めてビーチェとお呼びを。
ダメダメ。堅苦しい言葉はだって私たちはもう友人なのだから。
A bright smile stretched across Beatrice's face. Yeah.
あの美少があれから何十年を経ようとも我が記憶より薄れることはない。
That's the moment, yeah, the moment he began living, like... Definitely memorable for him.
おじい様は
The big turning point in his life. Oh, my
自
mistake.
分を取り戻されたのですね。
平たく言や浮気だな。
Yeah, and then he did. Yeah, and then at the end of the day, he was cheating. I mean, that you can't deny that. And then what followed after then was even more. It's yo,
ビルさんが
it
今後
just
も
gets
失恋を
worse.
繰り返されるなら、お尻をかばわれる癖をつけることをお勧めします。
After having his butt pinched once more, Will hopped around in pathetic agony. Dang, how many times has Leon pinched like?
おじい様にとってロッケン島はベアトリーチェと初めて出会われた特別な場所だったのですね。
私がこの島に来ることがなければ出会うこともなかった。
An island of miracles.
その潜水艦基地の名残とやらは今も残っているのか。
クワドリアンの近くに
The
今
whole
も
underground thing. Yep.
外界からは見えぬ入り江の影だ。吹き継がって漁師たちも近寄らなかった島だ。私以外に知る者はもはやいるまい。
クワドリアンと屋敷を結ぶ2キロにも及ぶ地下道はその基地の名残なのか。
そうだ。鍾乳洞を改造した広大な地下壕で地下を網羅し、島内各地を要塞化する。私はその地下道を生かし、島の両端に2つの屋敷を作らせたのだ。
Okay.
2つの屋敷、2つの家
Two
族。
mansions, two families.
後宮家の屋敷と後宮家から解放された金蔵の屋敷だったのですね。
For two different Kinzos.
そうだ。私には必要だったのだ。
It was something I needed.
後宮という呪われた生から逃れる、もう一つの場所が。
しかし同情するよ。はるばる日本までやってきて任務を成し遂げられなかったとは。
Yep.
パパの任務が何だったかよくわからないわ。どこか遠くへ逃げ、大切な日までそれを隠さなければならないと言っていた。
それと
わからないわ。それはとても大切なもので、大切な日まで何年も隠しているつもりだったみたい。いえ、それと一緒に隠れているつもりだったみ
Hidden
たい。
along with it.
私に異国の地で長い時間を過ごすことになるかもしれないと謝っていたから。
アンジェロ少尉は罪には特になく、君の父上が輸送すべき要人だったと言っていたが。
少尉はあなたたちを信用してないわ。私でさえ知っていることをいくつも隠してる。ひょっとすると少尉はパパの目的と積み荷を知っているのかも。
Okay.
それが何だったにせよ、それはイタリア軍の任務さ。俺らには
It's
関
not
係
my
ないね。
problem.
むしろ同盟国なんだ。頼ってくれればいいのに。
金蔵が良い人であることは疑わないわ。少尉にもあなたは信頼できる人間だと伝えてるんだけれど、どうして男というのは異教ではむやみやたらと厳格になるの？普段はみんなもっと陽気な人たちばかりなのに、ここへ来てからみんな妙に空気が張り詰めているわ。少尉は部下たち全員に常時銃
I
を手
mean,
放さ
they're
な
not
い
in
よ
their
う
own
に命じてる。
country, so I mean, it makes sense that they'd be a little tense still. Even though that they were like allied, kind of, but okay. What did it say? It was true. The Italians were clearly the very opposite of relaxed. The Japanese soldiers watching this began to suspect that the Italians didn't really trust them at all.
軍人ならおかしいことじゃないさ。むしろこういう時こそ規律を引き締めて友軍。
就寝時には必ず根津板を立てるし、もう航行できないスクラップ同然の潜水艦に今もあなたたちを近づけないように見張りを立てているわ。
Yeah.
私はなんだか日本人を露骨に毛嫌いしているように見えて気持ちが悪い。
Well, this is something else in the submarine. True, they had set up a constant sentry by the submarine and had refused to let any of the Japanese soldiers come near. This hadn't made the Japanese particularly happy. However, submarines are treated as classified in all countries. Maybe it was just natural for them to stop foreigners from approaching it without reason.
慣れない生活を強いられてみんな気が立ってるんだろう。天候と女将の都合で君たちを本土へ運ぶ船の派遣がまた遅れてる。君たちをいつ本土へ送ってあげられるやら。
We had both been told that a boat was being sent for them directly from the mainland, but apparently thanks to the weather problems, Thanks to the weather, problems up the command chain, and recent air raids, there are no ships to spare for a forgotten island like this. There might have been some sort of diplomatic problem. After all, their homeland had already surrendered to the Allies. I didn't know the details. The only thing I knew for sure was that they'd been stuck on Rokkenjima for 2 whole weeks, and no one had come to get them. 2 weeks. Of course, we had some small boats in Rokkenjima. There was nothing physically stopping us from taking them to a nearby island. Still, Rokkenjima was technically a top-secret base, and contact with the outside world had been strictly forbidden. Okay.
仕方がないし、それも悪くないわ。だって船が来てしまったら、金蔵とはもう会えなくなってしまうんでしょ。
He's like, hey, I miss you. To me, those 2 weeks were the first I'd ever truly lived. The faint 20 years before all seemed to vanish in the sparkle of those 2 weeks. I realized that she would have to leave this place eventually, and yet this one moment felt so rich and dazzling, and that I felt myself wishing it could last forever. Then I heard a voice calling for Beatrice in Italian.
アンジェロ少尉だよ。君に用事みたいだ。
またお小言かしら。日本人とあまり親しくするなと。
Either to scold or they might be planning something right there. Yo, thanks for the follow. The ensign approached, saluting Kinzo, and after glancing at Beatrice as though asking her to translate something, began to speak in Italian. Judging by his tone, it sounded like something serious.
少尉は、とても重要な話があるから、あなたたちの指揮官に合わせてほしいと言ってるわ。
Okay.
協力を求めたいと言っている。何のことかわからないわ。
重要な話。わかった。山本中尉を探そう。
Got it. I'll go find the Lieutenant Yamamoto. Okay. Oh boy, I don't like this. Ensign Angelo had 2 of his subordinates with him and wore a stern expression on his face. They didn't have to say anything for us to realize that this must be something very serious. Indeed-o.
いいぞ！上げろ！
The winch creaked and the thick chains rang out of the dull clank. Very slowly, it was lifted up out of the submarine's cargo hold.
なるほど。イタリア人どもが我々を潜水艦に近づけたがらないわけだ。
The lieutenant and the others looked up at the winch, was slowly lifting up. All of them were wearing unpleasant forced smiles.
なんてこと、これがパパの運んでいた積み荷だというの。
What, is it the gold?
すごい。こんなの生まれて初めて。
It is, dang. Okay. It was a mountain of gold ingots. Those carefully piled bars were being slowly lifted out of the cargo hold, one group after another. This gold had been their true cargo. Yeah. I don't know where they were planning to take it. They might have been trying to sneak it into Japan, one of their allies. Or they might have been on their way to hide it in some remote island area. Was this some sort of strategy? A conspiracy? Embezzlement? Yeah. Top secret transportation of wealth? This incomprehensible amount of gold led to all sorts of dark suspicions, but we didn't know anything about the truth. All told, the gold weighed an incredible 10 tons. That was only one truth that we could wrap our minds around at the moment. They had strongly resisted showing this to us. However, the submarine could no longer make sea and was apparently continuing to take in water bit by bit. That gold was going to sink. Rokkenjima had been outfitted in an extremely slipshod way, so we had no means of repairing it. Also, while we could unload the sub, there was no way we could lift it up again once it had lifted with water and sunk to the bottom. It was clear that unless action was taken, the gold would soon become completely impossible to transport. And also, they had made the decision to unload it. Of course, they made no effort to explain the reason for all this gold. They had just asked us to help them take it out.
なぜこんな大量の黄金を国外へこれだけあればイタリアの戦局を変えられたかもしれない。
戦局を変えるのは武器。でも戦後は何の役にも立たない。
Not true.
確かにお金も戦局を変えはするでしょう。でも戦後にもその価
It
値は
does, man. That is crazy. Way to put that. There was no longer any way to change the course of this war. The Axis powers would probably all surrender, leading to an Allied victory. Anyone could tell this simply by looking at the American planes flying across the sky day after day. However, gold would still be valuable after the war is over. Everyone stared upwards, dumbfounded, as the winch slowly lifted the dully sparkling gold. Those who came from the sea. Oh, snap.
注意。
Yep.
イタリア人たちはこの黄金のことを本土へ報告しないことを望んでいます。
I wouldn't tell mainland about this gold.
我が国に横領されたくないからであろうな。
Dang, man, can you, like, even that plaque there? Man, stuff like that bothers me a little bit.
彼はなんと
Now
日
I'm
本が黄
noticing
金
it,
を横領
like...
するのを恐れているから報告されたくないのだろうと言っている。
Yep.
少尉はむしろイタリア本国に知られることを恐れているわ。
Okay, you don't want Italy to find out.
今の祖国は連合国の傀儡政権。彼らに知られれば黄金は返還することになる。しかしそれは私たちの敵に黄金を渡すようなもの。
They'd come all this way to make sure that the gold didn't fall into enemies' hands. They needed to hide this gold from the puppet government until their homeland could be truly restored.
後ろ宮、イタリア人たちに提案せよ。我々は協力を申し出たいとな。
協力とは
イタリア人たちの言い分はこうであろう。彼らはその黄金を祖国に知られることなく隠したいわけだ。
Yeah.
しかし、この島から運び出そうとすれば、輸送船を手配せねばならなくなる。そうすれば本土に知られ、さらにはイタリア本国にも知られることとなる。
Yeah.
そうなります。
That's right. So...
あの黄金はもうロッケン島からは運び出せない。
Yet so the gold is stuck here. Their mission must have been to hide that gold in absolute secrecy until the day of their homeland's restoration. Later on, several plausible rumors would circulate about how Germany also moved much of its secret wealth to certain hidden areas in South America just prior to its surrender. It was a very natural conclusion to reach. That submarine was their only method of transporting the gold in secrecy, and it's become completely useless. They can't fully stop the water from seeping in, and it'll sink completely before much longer. There's no longer any way for them to transport the gold in secrecy. In other words, their mission has ended in failure here in the Far East. So just how is Lieutenant Yamamoto proposing that we assist them?
このロッケン島基地は誰も知らぬ秘密基地だ。
Just keep it here. Yep.
近隣の島民たちはこの島を不吉な無人島と信じて近寄りもしない。言っている意味がわかるか、後ろ宮。
Yeah, especially where the gold came from. Like,
前にも話した通り、
yeah, all that gold. How did all that gold get here?
何
Like,
も知られていない。
for real.
見ての通り、戦略価値は何もなく、上層部にもすでに忘れられてる。注意は、この島に黄金を隠してはどうかと提案したいみたいな。
A suggestion. Bitsu quickly translated this and the ensign began discussion rapidly with his subordinates. They didn't look happy. Of course they don't look happy. That's a lot of gold. Japan may have been their ally, but they probably didn't want the gold for reconstructing their motherland to be entrusted to Asians. Still, it's hard to imagine any other option for them.
激しく議論しているわ。 他に手はないという者もいるし、それでも祖国に忠誠を尽くすべきだという者もいる。少尉は板挟みになってるわ。
Hiding this gold was the final order given to them by their fallen homeland. However, by now, there was no way for that order to be carried out successfully. If the mainland or their own homeland found out, the gold would probably be confiscated by the wrong people from their viewpoint. Yeah. If they really wanted to carry out their homeland's orders faithfully, Lieutenant Yamamoto's proposal was extremely reasonable. Yep. Though the lieutenant couldn't understand their words, it seemed he realized how divided they were.
我々が協力すれば、あの黄金を厳重に隠すことができるぞ。
If we help out, we'll be able to hide the gold.
幸いなことに、廃棄された地下壕が長々とこの島の地下を横断している。
この島の地下に
I'm trying to think back to my thoughts on the gold in earlier episodes. I'm pretty sure I didn't believe that the gold was real for a hot minute. Actually, I did quickly learn to believe that the gold was real. In episode 1, when the thing with Kinzo with the gold, I was like, oh, there must be some more somewhere. But I never really did think about the how as to how it got here. And seeing it now, it all makes sense. He's saying that if you hide the gold underground and bury it on this island, no one will be able to find it. Yeah.
でも、日本人の手を借りるのに抵抗を感じてるみたい。
Did I say Kinzo? I meant cross before.
議論が
I think I said
難航している
cross.
ようです。
議論の余地などあるのか、イタリア人。我々の協力なくば、あの黄金は隠せんぞ。まさかいつまでも波打ち際に積み上げておくわけにもいくまい。
アンジェロ少尉は黄金のことを知る人間を最小で抑えたい。
Well, how many people saw it? Everyone on the island at this point? Like...
山本中尉の申し出が今は最善と見てるみたいよ。でも、いぶかしがってるわ。
何を
10トンの黄金を隠すという労力の提供と守秘義務を彼らが本当に無償で提供してくれるのかと。
Makes sense, makes sense.
五分と五分だ。
注意、それはまさか。
あの黄金の半分を我々によこせ。
Oh boy.
それを手間賃に残りの半分を厳重に隠してやる。
Half for our work wages, and how are y'all going to divide it amongst yourselves? Like...
半分をよこせと言ってる。
Oh. Vincent Beatrice translated that sentence, and signed Angelo slammed his hands on the desk and stood up. Yeah, we knew Angelo wasn't going to like that. Instead of flinching, Lieutenant Yamamoto, true to his boast of once being a thug that everyone feared, actually looked even more relaxed and confident than he had previously. It's kind of true, though, because they have no other, like... they have limited choices, and this is, like they said, the best option, and... We know that the gold stays here, so...
本来なら断りようのない話だ。8割を要求してもおかしくない。それを敬意を表して五分と五分にしようと提案しているのだ。これは我々だけに優位な話ではない。イタリア人たちが外部にこのことを漏らせば、全ての黄金は日本かイタリアに接収されるだろう。我々には1円たりとも転がり込んでこない。我々は全員が共犯でなくてはならない。
全員に着服の共犯になれと言ってる。周囲はすでに軍人としてでなく個人として話をしている。
なんてこと。黄金に目がくらんだのね。
Yep. Lieutenant Yamamoto was grinning. It really did look as though he had been blinded by greed, just as Beatrice said.
あのまま山積みにしていれば、やがて本土から来る迎えの連中の目にいやおうなく入るだろう。そうなれば、ここにいる誰もが得をしないぞ。我々の申し出を受けて、早急に黄金を隠すべきだ。
アンジェロ少尉は、日本政府やイタリア政府にはどうしても知られたくないみたい。彼は自分が与えられた任務に最後まで責任を持ちたいみたいよ。
つまり どういう
何割かを口止め料として与えてでも島内に地中深く埋めることを望んでるわ。もちろん下士官たちには異論もあるみたい。5割は問題外だと憤慨してるわ。
後ろ宮イタリア人たちの神。
彼らも黄金がこれ以上の人目につくことを望んでいないようです。しかし取り分に異論があるようです。
少尉は1割ならば検討できると言ってる。
10%. Oh.
無論山本中尉がそれで納得しない
Yeah, he knows he's not going to accept that. He ain't going to accept
後ろ
10%.
宮イタリア人の返事はいかに。
Man, that sucks being the translator for
検討
this.
すると
This time this time the lieutenant slammed down his desk, but the Italians didn't flinch either. An incredible tension filled the small room. However, despite his violent outburst a second ago, Lieutenant Yamamoto's expression still looked smug and in control. He was probably confident that he now had the initiative.
1割1割か。いいだろう。なら1割を譲ってやろう。しぶろくだ。これ以上は譲らんと伝えろ。
40-60? Okay. 40% for the Japanese, 60% for the Italians. The lieutenant made it sound like he was willing to stand firm on that, but in truth, these negotiations were not being made on an equal footing. For if the Italians just wanted the gold for themselves, there wouldn't be much of a problem. But what if they really were true patriots and decided that they ought to return the gold, even if the defeated puppet government of their homeland, for the purpose of reconstruction? If so, they would probably report the existence of the gold to the Italian embassy. Eventually, the Italian government would petition and allied nations for the retrieval of their gold. It probably wouldn't all make it back to Italy, but it might be used effectively to repair and rebuild the battered towns. If that happened, Lieutenant Yamamoto and his friends would only be able to sneak out a few ingots at most. He was greedily planning to make his own treasure island, so that he and his subordinates could have an enormous fortune all to themselves. If he wanted those ambitions to bear out, the Italians would have to conceal the presence of the gold.
しかし疑問だ。アンジェロ少尉が誰にも黄金を渡したくないなら、沈みゆく潜水艦に任せて沈めればよかったはず。どうして荷上げを？
考えたくはないけれど、命令が遂行不能になった時点で少尉はこの黄金を横領することを考え始めたのかも。彼は今下士官たちに軍人としての意見と祖国に家族が待つ一個人としての意見を聞きたいと言っているわ。堅物の下士官たちが激高してる。
The discussion between the Italians was becoming fierce and emotional. Though their homeland had fallen, they had come all this way in accordance with its orders. They had probably been given this mission because they were particularly faithful and duty-minded troops. It seemed they couldn't just agree to a foreigner's proposal to embezzle and split up the gold. Ensign Angelo looked like he was doing all he could to calm the unexpectedly fervent rage of his subordinates. Looks like the gold is blinding them too. It seems no one can sort out their own personal feelings and the way they want to be perceived.
奴らの返答はいかに？後ろ宮！
リーチェ、周囲が返事を求めてる。
考える時間が欲しいと言ってるわ。私はあなたと話せたから気が紛れてよかったけれど、他の人たちはそうじゃないの。とても長い後悔の果てに大勢の仲間を失って。
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, they lost a bunch of people. They had 60 initially, and they had 11 now, they said?
唯一の心の拠り所だった任務ももはや喪失してる。どうすればいいのか。
注意、彼らは時間が欲しいと言っています。
いいとも。大いに議論したらいい。しかし時間はないぞ。隠すとなったら時間と手間がかかる。 明日の正午までに結論しろ。
Oh, until noon tomorrow. Man.
回答期限
Until
明日
noon
の正午
tomorrow.
です
Yep.
周囲まるで脅迫だ。
Yeah, for real.
少尉は全員の意見を聞くと言ってるわ。
感触は
多分難航するわ。
Yep.
少尉自身は山分けもあり得ると考えてるみたいだけど、下士官や他の仲間たちは多分反対するわ。みんなこの極東までの航海で大切な仲間を大勢失ってる。彼らは堅なに祖国への忠誠を貫きたがってる。
周囲の申し出は断ると。
断ってもどうせ黄金は誰かの手に渡るわ。何も残らないならせめてインゴットの一本ずつでも密かに持ち帰ろうという少尉の言い分に同調者も出そうだけど、こういう時の男って勢いだけが迷走するわ。私も見当がつかない。
Yep. Who knows what they will do? It definitely ain't gonna look
イタリア
good.
人たちの胸中は複雑でしょうね。
Mm-hmm.
彼らにとって降伏後のイタリアは敵国同然だ。
Uh-huh.
黄金をそのイタリアに返還するのは彼らの長い
Yeah,
旅路を
man.
全て否
Yeah,
定す
they
る。
lose the purpose of their voyage.
しかし黄金を着服して山分けすることも彼らの旅路の
That would
起点に
also
なります
too, yeah. So both
彼らが
situations
切り立
were
つべき
the
すべ
choices.
て滅ぶ。その時点で彼らの旅路の意味など失われた。奇妙な話だ。
Yep. No happy
どうせ意
ending.
味のないことならインゴットの一本でもありつけた方がまだマシだと。
損得感情で言えばそうなる。そうならねえのが男ってもんだがな。
Uh-huh. The towns were gathered in the cramped room, arguing fiercely.
死んだ戦友たちのためにも断固軍人魂を貫くべきです。
貫くとはどういうことか。この島に黄金を隠せということか。東洋人たちの申し出を受けるということか。
東洋人たちは信用できません。特にあの山本という男、
Especially that
断じて油断で
Yamamoto
きません。
man.
黄金を荷上げして日本人たちに見られたのはやはり失敗でした。艦と共に沈めるべきでした。
日本人の基地で沈めてどうする。やがていつかは引き上げられる。隠したことにはならない。いずれにせよこの島から黄金を誰にも知られずに
In
運
any
び出
case,
す
yeah.
方
In
法は
the
ない。
end, yeah.
洋上で名誉ある自鎮を選んでいたらこんなことには。艦のダメージが致命的だったことがあの時点で分かっていたら、どうしてあの時少佐は日本軍に救援要請を。日本軍にこの黄金のことを知られたら少佐はどう任務を遂行する
Dang.
つもりだった
We're
んだ。
going to push blame on him?
少佐が救援要請を出した時点で我々の任務はもう失敗していた
Dang.
んだ。
That's messed up.
諸君にも祖国で待つ家族がいるはずだ。
I mean,
そして
if it's his
極東
fault,
の
I
島
mean,
国まで
since he's in charge
よく航海に耐えた。
now, like,
それに対するこれは正当な報酬なのだという考え方もある。あの時日本人に助けなど
絶対に反対だ。死んだ親友たちが浮かばれない。こんな目に。
少尉、日本人が友好的でない場合、我々は最終的解決手段を辞さない覚
be
悟が
prepared
必
to
要
kill
です。
them off.
ご長
You know what I mean, Corporal.
とは何か。
You already know what he means. Someone go. Detention hung over the
日本
room.
人たちはたるみ切っています。実戦経験もない腰抜けばかりです。我々は精兵です。すでに基地内の間取りのほぼ全てと日本人の人数、少尉の命令があれば短時間で制圧できるでしょう。
Subdue
戦
them
闘員と思
quickly.
わしきは山本を含めて数人程度、残りは軍属の作業員風情です。上辺の人数は日本人が上ですが、実質兵力ではこちらが優位です。
日本人を殺せば迎えの船が来た時
Exactly. Like, how you gonna explain that in the end?
ごまかしようがないぞ。
Like,
死体さえ
there's only what 11 of y'all, right? And this what a 30 against 30. I mean, they have more experience, I guess, but
この基地を制圧するのは容易です。
it was that
山
they
本以下主
believe
要な
so.
兵士数人を殺してみせれば、あっさりと作業員たちを降伏するでしょう。彼らに黄金を運ばせ、地
that'd
中
be
に埋めましょう。 もちろん彼らの口は永遠に
Let's have them. Let's have them carry the gold and bury it.
皆殺しにするということか。
殺しましょう。全員殺せば黄金のことは誰にも知られずに済むのです。
At the moment, the door, which was supposedly been locked, opened slightly, and the middle object. Oh, snap. Alright, pizza, y'all. As the yell ran out, the table was kicked over to be used as a shield, and they all dropped to the floor. However, in this cramped room, it probably wouldn't do them any good. The Italians were all prepared for death. Oh, snap. It's a dud. Fortunately, the shoddy grenade was a dud. The door was slammed open, and 3 Japanese soldiers with wielding pistols jumped in. Oh snap! Fires went off. In a small room, no matter who shot where, it was bound to hit someone. The exchange of bullets instantly caused a rain of blood, with casualties on both sides. The 3 who had jumped in were covered with bullet holes and fell over, moaning and thrashing. Alright, pizza, y'all. He should have thrown in a dud grenade, like. Oh, Gino. True. The grenade was still rolling about on the floor. It had been a surprise attack. Lieutenant Yamamoto had probably judged that negotiations would not go his way and decided to make his first move. Or else, maybe he had been planning from the beginning to put them in the position of having to take a vote. In order to gather them all in one place. That would have been some big brain stuff. Rokkenjima belongs to the Japanese. If they killed all the Italians, then not half, but all the gold would go to them. There was still a chance the grenade might go off late. The Italians rushed out of the corridor. They heard gunfire from down the hallway. It was coming from the direction of the submarine dock. Clearly the troops guarding the pile of gold were being attacked. Dang. All out fighting now. Yep, that's what I was saying before. They have the numbers, but then again, they have the experience, so numbers versus experience. What will overcome the other? There's a gunfire ringing throughout the cave. As soon as I heard the sound of gunfire, I knew whatever it was that had been smoldering since the time the gold was unloaded had finally burst into flame. The eyes of our soldiers, when looking at the gold, had not been normal. Yes, those eyes had been entranced by demons. The Italians had also been at breaking point due to the heavy burden they bore. Who wouldn't have snapped after becoming trapped in a distant land, where you can't understand the language or the writing? Thinking I had to do something, I ran towards the sound of gunfire. Looking back on it, that was an extremely foolish thing to do. That sound meant that there were people shooting at each other, people killing each other, and yet, unarmed as I was, I dashed towards the sound as though I was trying to mediate some schoolyard fight. It didn't take long before I learned how foolish and naive such a thing was in the heat of battle. Oh, this dude dead. Warrant Officer Hirayoko was lying face down, his entire body drenched in blood. Judging by the trail of blood behind him, it's clear that he had somehow managed to crawl here from a different room before dying. No, he was still twitching. He might not be dead yet. But on this island without a doctor, no, even if we had a doctor, how could anyone possibly save a man who had been shot this many times in the chest? When I looked into the room he must have crawled out of, I saw 2 more bloodstained Japanese corpses. I fell backwards, pathetically on my butt, my mouth hanging open in shock. Come to think of it, that was the first time I had ever faced death in my life. The entire world was at war. Even though millions were dying both east and west, this was the first time I met a person's death directly. Ridiculous. Didn't I join the army hoping to die? I know, I was thinking about that too. The irony of the fact that he was here prepared to die, and then him facing death. It's like, or facing someone else's death. Because at this point, he wants to live in a way, or starting to feel to live. But didn't I whine about not being sent to the front lines? Yeah. So rejoice, Kinzo. Isn't this the death you were looking for? Not anymore. Why not spread your hands out and yell out loud? Yes. Come for me, magnificent death. Someone came running towards me. It was a colleague of mine, a Japanese man, Tajima-kun. He dashed towards me, pale-faced and out of breath. His face seemed horribly contorted with fear. Mine probably looked the same. Everyone dying. Someone yelled in Japanese, and at the same time Tajima let out a scream. Then he grabbed onto me as he fell to the floor. A red stain was spreading across his back before my eyes. Tajima dead. Dang. Run, Kinzo, run! As he spat out bubbles of blood, he said that one word and died. But the shocking events of seeing someone die right in front of me did not capture my attention. No living thing is concerned with the deaths of others at a fundamental level. The one thing that matters is whether they themselves die or not. My attention was fully occupied by the barrel of the gun the Italian soldier was pointing. Yup, at you. Tajima-kun's back burst once more as he leaned against me. Flesh tore, blood splattered. The warm splash of it covered my face. It was the Italian trying to finish him off, even though he had stopped moving for good. How foolish I've been. Can I still not understand the scene in front of me? Rejoice, Kinzo. Now you'll finally be able to get what you wanted all this time. The Italian hadn't fired to finish off Tajima-kun. He had been aiming at the man Tajima-kun had fallen on. Me. Ushiromiya Kinzo, but a body shield right there, man. I pushed the corpse aside, grabbed it against the floor, and dashed away, tumbling over myself. My hands had pushed off against the floor hard enough to tear off the ring finger nail on my left hand. When faced with death, humans truly can resist with all they've got. I tumbled over and over as I ran, scrapping up parts of my body. It was painfully hot, but that didn't matter at all. I heard the yelling in Italian come from behind me all over and over again. It felt like they were running, chasing after me. I didn't want to look back, so I kept on running and running as though the Italians were right behind me. This is death. Didn't you want to die? No, I don't want to die. Why? What? Didn't I want to die so badly? But now I know. I know how wonderful it is to be alive. She taught me. Yeah, me too. I can only be free when I talk to her. No. By talking with her, I was finally alive for the first time. I was finally born. I want to live. I want to live. I want to live. I want to live. I don't want to die. I want to live and see her right now. If I don't see her, I'll die, I'll be killed. Now where is she throughout all this? That's what I was wondering. Stay cool, Kinzo. She might be killed too. If you live, she dies, and she dies, you might as well be dead. Before I knew it, my face was covered in tears, snot and drool. When I stumbled over something and fell, I was finally able to come to my senses a little. Yeah, man. I could still hear imminent gunfire. The gunfire was still going on, and it still had spread throughout the entire base. Is she okay? I mean, where is she? I'll find her and take her to a safe place. The lieutenant will probably kill all of the Italians to steal the gold.
Beach.
Yeah, the lieutenant. Yeah, Yamamoto. Because I was like, who's he talking about? Yeah. Meeting you for the first time I ever lived. The first time I was ever born. So if you die, I'll die again. I could feel every cell in my body being reborn, not as Ushirimiya Kinzo, but as a completely different Kinzo. Kinzo reborn. Of course, I was still terrified that I might really be shot if I went back. But I no longer wanted to die. In the truest possible sense, so I was able to overcome my fear. Oh. Yeah, what is all this, man? Dang. Oh, I like this song. Dang, they are just... Ruben, yeah, stood with Beatrice behind his back and neatly shot the two men rushing at him with 2mm bullets from his Beretta M1934, yeah. However, one of the 8mm bullets from their Type 94 semi-auto pistols went straight into Ruben's chest. All three of the shooters were struck in the chest and fell down in a heap. Rubis, man. R.I.P. Rubis. Yamamoto. The next person to appear was the commanding officer of the Japanese soldiers, Yamamoto. The blast of three guns had been sounded. Adding in on Beatrice's scream, it was hardly surprising that he had noticed the encounter. Yamamoto spat. Beatrice used that moment to snatch up Ruben's gun. Or Rubis, yeah. I mean, you're over here killing everyone. What am I going to do? Sit here and not, like... He spat this last part at the two dying men, who stayed moaning at his feet. However, it wasn't particularly surprising, and this wasn't the only place it was happening. Nearly everyone met head-on these tiny cramped tunnels. When both sides shot recklessly in a situation like this, the result was two corpses. So the way to be fastest was to pull a trigger immediately the moment you sensed another person. That was the only way to make it through this battle without ending up with a bullet in your chest. So possibly shooting your own teammates. Like, your own comrades. Because of this, both the Japanese and Italians killed each other without hesitation. And they sometimes even pulled the trigger on their own countrymen when they unexpectedly ran into each other. In the midst of this, large numbers of Japanese men who had no idea what was going on ran towards the noise and became victims of one another. It didn't matter whether the other person was holding a gun or not. Everyone reflexively pulled the trigger at the sight of anyone other than themselves, trying to stay alive. The slaughter engulfed the entire base. Okay, everyone about to kill each other, man. There's a fierce gun battle taking place in the submarine dock, and a massacre resembling a hunt was taking place inside the base. Most of the non-combatants assigned to this base were killed before they knew what was going on. That's unfortunate. The Italians were indeed quite seasoned troops, but their numbers began to drop bit by bit. Bloodstained corpses lay scattered all across the base. At first, it had probably been a proper gunfight. However, as they gradually became desensitized, it devolved into the most basic cause of wars throughout humanity: desire to kill all foreigners you don't understand. Whenever they heard words they didn't understand, they pulled the trigger. By that point, the screams of foreigners sounded no different from those of man-shaped beasts. After all, they couldn't understand pleading in another language, so it had long ago turned into a mere massacre. As the numbers of dead surpassed the number of living, silence began to turn to the base. Just when it felt as though everyone had died and the desolate sounds of the wind blew through the caves, there would be a sudden scream, the crisp sound of a gun, and one would remember that the massacre still wasn't over. This happened over and over again until eventually true silence fell. It marked the pitiful end for those led astray by gold. Murder on the island. For gold. The leader of the Italian soldiers, Angelo, had managed to survive somehow. He encountered nothing but corpses of friend and foe. All was quiet once more in the base. If he was careless enough to call out, he might be shot from the shadows somewhere. So he snuck about like a panther, breathing quietly and searching for the remaining enemies. There was no sign or trace of any living person. Maybe all the people on this base had died. The Japanese struck first, but at that time there was also talking about killing them. They simply made the first move as military men, so perhaps I should be grateful for today. Even if the boat had come to take us away, there would have been no honor for us. We would have been mere failures in our mission, unfit to face our dead comrades. Perhaps dying here on the far east alongside my gun is more fitting end for a soldier. From around the corner, I noticed the sound of a leg being dragged across the ground, and I strained to hear. Is this someone seriously wounded and shuffling with a limp? Noticing them before they notice me greatly helps my chances. At this stage, there's no point in taking prisoners. We must dispose of all the Japanese. I dash around the corner, quickly check to see who they are, and shoot if it's a Japanese person. Nothing more. I've been hiding my footsteps the whole time. They probably don't know I'm here. Once the shuffling footsteps had come close enough, Angelo leaned around the corner and raised his gun. The voice that reached him spoke Italian. Oh! Get out of here, man! The trap! Angelo. Yup, Yamamoto. And there's one left. Other than Beatrice, yep. Blood poured from Angelo's chest. His gun fell to the floor, then his knees, and then the rest of his body crumpled and slowly stopped moving. Yamamoto's accuracy with a gun wasn't particularly stellar. However, Angelo had waited until they were fairly close before jumping out, so Yamamoto had been able to hit his target. And he had managed it with a short barrel handgun in one hand and the woman as a hostage in the other. Dang! Only okay, it makes sense that it would be these few left, and Kinzo around here, man. Dang. Oh! It was such an obvious lie that even he wore a bitter smile. The Italians were spies working for the enemy, and they all died along with the garrison in a gunfight. That was the story Yamamoto wanted to tell, so he couldn't afford to have any Italian survivors. At this point, he wouldn't be able to keep the entire pile of gold, but he could at least grab as many ingots as he could carry. Even that would be worth a huge amount of money. Beatrice suddenly swung her head, smashing Yamamoto's nose hard. Oh. Oh snap. She almost managed to escape, however Yamamoto quickly grabbed her leg and tripped her. She fell onto her back and Yamamoto mercilessly stomped his foot down on her stomach and pointed his gun at her. Oh, yeah. Kinzo had jumped out of the shadows. He was holding a gun he had stolen from one of the corpses. Yeah, I survived. Oh, what? Oh, Yamamoto didn't know that the grenade had been a dud. Wait, what? He didn't know or did he know? hadn't known that, yeah, he didn't know that it had been done. The surprise attack, which he had certain would work, had failed. So he had decided that Kizo must have tipped them off. Okay.
貴様がこのイタリア女を通じて内通していたことはお見通しよ。
あなたが黄金に目がくらんだからこの事態を招いたのではないのか。
逃げて金蔵。この男は命乞いしてる人も撃ったわ。
Cold-blooded, man. Yeah, he'll kill his own comrades.
喋るなイタリア女。もう一度口を聞いたら容赦なく撃つぞ。
Bro, you're gonna kill her in the end anyways. Like, man, Yamamoto grounded his heel into Beatrice's gut. Oh.
銃を上官に向けるとはどういうことだ。頭を冷やせよ愚か者め。私とお前で口裏を合わせる。
Yeah, he's willing to kill you, man. He was just pointing his gun at you, saying you're a traitor. Nah, don't trust him at all. Sure, yeah. Yep, exactly.
どうやら貴様は黄金より鉛の方がお好みらしいな。
Without hesitation, Yamamoto raised the barrel of his gun towards Kinzo and shot. Pulled the trigger. It grazed Kinzo's right ear. If Yamamoto's aim had just been a bit better, the bullet would undoubtedly have slammed into Kinzo's face. Dang, that's lucky though. Like the ear, that's close. So they're like, man, not letting Yamamoto's momentary distraction go to waste, Beatrice lashed out and planted her foot right in Yamamoto's crotch. After moaning in pain, a demonic expression flashed across Yamamoto's face, and he stomped on her chest. Bro, shoot him. Beatrice shut her eyes tightly, hoping that she could withstand the coming pain. No one would want to have their eyes open at the moment they were shot. No one would. Thick spurts of blood spurted out of Yamamoto's chest. This had squirted out of his chest. Was Yamamoto able to hear Kinzo's last words to him? In his last moments, Yamamoto seemed to grin. Then slowly he fell over backwards, a river of blood trailing from his body. And the gold became mine.
Kinzo! 無事なの?てっきりあなたが撃たれたと。
Oh, Beatrice tried to stand up, but then doubled over and started coughing. Yeah, you got like kicked in the stomach a couple times there. Oh.
あばらが痛むわ。その人でなしが激しく踏んだものだから。
Yeah, facts. He said, I don't need gold. He said, Beatrice is my gold.
これくらいで折れるほどイタリア女はやわじゃないの。でもありがとう。あなたは命の恩人だわ。あなたが来なければ私はきっとそこに転がっていたわ。
Yamamoto had shown no mercy. Her ribs or what? Were probably cracked. Ugh. We didn't have the option of waiting, possibly for several days for the ship that was coming. I made the decision to ferry her off this island. The man who kept yelling about preserving the secrecy of the base is lying there dead. The next island over is Nijima, is close. A small boat should be able to take us there. True.
知らなかった。 この島には病院もあるのね。
ない。隣の島へ船で運ぶ。君は病院へ。私はこの島での出来事をうまく片付けないと。
Yep.
とばっちりで
You gotta figure this out, man.
頼みがあるの。私を病院へ
Oh.
連れて行かないで。
どうして？
Yeah, what?
病院へ行って大使館に連絡が行けば、
Now
私
she
は
wants
やが
to
て
stay here
本
with
国
you,
を紹介さ
Kinzo.
れるわ。そしてきっとあれこれと
Yup.
尋問を受けるんだわ。
You have to talk about this.
ママを見殺しにした奴らを自分の祖国とは認めないの。もう私の帰るべき祖国はないの。
Yep.
ここが私の終点だからもう私はどこへも行きたくないの。私に優しくしてくれたアンジェロ少尉もルーベンスもみんな死んでしまった。
Yeah, R.I.P. them.
だから君までここで死ぬと。イタリア女はヤワじゃないんだろ。生きるんだ。
ねえ金蔵、生きるってどういう意味？
What
なたが
does
教え
it
てく
mean
れ
to
たはず
live,
よ。
huh?
生きるってのはただ
Yeah.
息をすること
Yeah,
じゃ
more
な
than
い
just
わ。
breathing.
私はイタリアへ帰
But
りた
she
く
won't
な
be
いの。
living. She won't. Yeah.
ビーチ。
あなたは私と出会うまで死んでいたと言ってくれたわ。
Yup, he did.
それは私も同じなの。潜水艦の中で私は死んでいた。祖国も滅び、ママも死んだ、パパもね。私はこんな船沈んでしまえと願ったわ。
Just like how he wished he could die in the
ここ
war,
にたどり
but
着いた時実は死に損ねたとがっかりした。その矢先よ、少尉が英語がわかる者はいるかと騒ぎ出したの。
yep. And then you showed up. When Kinzo met Beatrice, he forgot about dying. When Beatrice met Kinzo, she also forgot about dying.
私は祖国も家族も友人たちも失った私をあなたにさらってほしいと願うの。
ピーチ。
でもそれは叶えられない望みだとも分かってる。ならばせめて、迎えの船が来るまでの数日間をあなたと一緒にいたいの。胸の痛みなんて気にしない。だって迎えの船に連れ去られたら、
And she won't be with you no more. Yep.
死んでしまうのだから。
Beatrice spoke like this, smiling softly. She did her best to hide the pain in her
お
chest.
願い金蔵、迎えが来るまでの数日間でいいから私をさらって。
その願いは叶えられない。
Looking apologetic, Kinzo lifted Bito up and
育児なし。
and gently sat her on the boat.
やっぱり日本の男は軟弱だわ。
そうだな。私は育児なしだ。だから君の願いは
Half
片
your
方しか叶え
wish.
られない。
Huh. With a clunk, he placed an object wrapped in a jacket on the boat. Hey. What?
迎えが来るまでの数日間でいいからの方は叶えられないということさ。
Oh.
どういう意味？
君をさらう。そっちを叶えることにした。
Okay.
金蔵、
There has to be a Dr. Nijima. I'm wearing a Navy uniform. I should be able to pass myself off as a survivor of a boat carrying a VIP that was sunk by enemy ships. If the doctor has to be of the greedy sort, all the better. After all, I have right here the golden magic to make people do what I say. The gold. She came from a distant country, took my lifeless body, and gave me a soul. A witch, who came bearing gold, revived me with her magic.
君は
Okay.
魔女だ。黄金の魔女だ。
ええ、黄金の魔女よ。
Huh.
みんなと同じレシピで作ってるのに、私だけがパスタから消し炭を生み出す錬金術が使える。
So you just burnt your food.
あなたと同じく私も、あなたがいてくれる限り生きることを許される屍。あなたがいなくなったら、私はすぐにでも死んでしまう。
死なせない。
本当に
絶対に。
取ってね、責任。だってあなたは私をさらったんだから。
Yeah. Spirited me away. Okay. Okay. Nice. Oh. He said, and this is where I come into the story. This is where I show up now.
では、まさかあなたなのですか？
It was I.
おじいさん
The
がベア
doctor
ト
on
リーチェに連れて行った新島の医者というの
Oh
は。
man.
驚くに値しねえ。新島の医者って時点でピンとくる。
It did.
突
Who else?
然海軍の兵隊さんが
Known that far
外
ago
国
yet,
人の
long
女性
ago.
を連れて現れたのです。驚きましたとも。しかもその上軍機なので秘密で治療しろというのです。
Okay.
それがおじい様との初対面だったのですか？
First
そう
encounter.
です。それが金蔵さんと初めての対面でした。
黄金で言いなりになった。
Exactly. Like, exactly. We can't forget about that. Almost makes you want to forget about that, or almost makes you forget about it. But
突然外国人の女性患者を連れ込み、軍機だから秘密にせよと言い、治療代は必ず持ってくるから担保にと言って黄金のインゴットを差し出す相手ですぞ。
all means I'll take that.
厄介事はごめんでした。しぶしぶとですと。
確かにそれもそうですね。でも南條先生はベアトリーチェをかくまってくれたんですね。
金蔵さんほどではありませんが、私にも英語の心得がありました。二人の会話を漏れ聞き、二人が決して厄介な何者かでないと確信したからです。
Okay, Nanjo said, "Hey, I got their back. I help them."
もち
Okay.
ろんインゴットに目がくらまなかったといえば嘘が過ぎますがな。私も今よりは若かったものですから。
Yeah, I believe you're much younger than I hope you would be much younger.
しばらくの療養の後、後宮家の使いの方が来て小田原に移すとおっしゃいましてな。引き取られていきました。
Okay.
おじい様が自分で迎えに行ったわけではないのですか？
金蔵がどう六軒島の事件を言い訳したにせよ、しばらくの間は自由には動けなかっただろうよ。
ですな。
Yep.
軍をごまかすのが金蔵さんの人生で一番の大勝負だったと言っておりましたな。
ベアトリーチェは小田原に行って、それから
使われていない別荘の一つにかくまったと聞いています。
Okay, she hid in a
当時の
villa.
金蔵さんにはもう
Odawara.
家族がおられましたからな。そこはうまくやられたのでしょうな。
クワドリアン以前から二重生活はお手の物だったというわけだ。
Yeah, Rose living a double life before
何
then.
してるんですか？
Whoosh.
お尻におできでも？
し
それからベアトリーチェはおじい様の保護で別荘でいつまでも。
Yo, these two.
平穏につつましやかに暮らしたと聞きます。それから数年の後、
Yeah, exactly.
子供が生まれ
I was a little excited. I was like, "Oh, we're gonna see young
クワ
Nanjo."
ドリアンの
Guess
ベア
not.
トリーチェの誕生か。
Oh man.
出産がうまくいかなかったそうで、お気の毒なことです。
I was looking forward to that, but
亡くなったんですか？
oh.
驚くな。金蔵は娘を生まれ変わりと信じたんだぞ。心をないがしろにするんじゃねえ。
Yeah, don't ignore the heart. It's all about that heart, man.
そうですね。失礼。
私は金蔵さんが彼女と過ごされた小田原の数年間を知りません。しかしその後の今日までの金蔵さんを見れば、ほんの数年間であっても彼がいかに彼女を深く愛したか伺い知ることができるでしょう。
そうですね。
I see.
そして娘のためにクワドリアンを作ったというわけか。
Yeah.
金蔵さんは潜水艦の黄金を元手に巧みに立ち回り、たちまちのうちに財産を築き上げていきました。また持ち前の英語力を生かし GHQ に強いコネクションを作って
100%
みるみるうちに大富豪となられたのです。この辺はリオンさんに説明する必要はありますまい。
GHQ, okay. That's okay.
ええ。
Huh.
その莫大な財産で
Rokkenjima, yep. Then built the mansion, yep. That's, yeah, makes
小田
sense.
原の親族たちは
Huh.
無人島を丸ごと買い取ったおじい様を酔狂だと笑ったそうです。
10トンの黄金がポケットに収まる大きさだったなら、金蔵も島を買わなかったろうよ。
Yeah, maybe. He hid the gold somewhere in Rokkenjima, built up a fortune with the ingots he'd taken out of it, then brought up the whole treasure island. Dang.
ですな。
Yeah.
そして後宮家の黄金伝説が始まるのです。
Yeah.
インゴットには片翼のワシが刻印
Yeah,
さ
where's
れて
that whole eagle thing? Yeah, what's the origin on that?
片
What's the
翼の和
origin?
紙というよりは片翼に見えてしまう和紙というべきでしょうな。
それはどういう意味ですか？
Yeah, what?
ヨーロッパに多いでしょう。翼を広げた和紙を紋章にしたものはサロ共和国の国旗にも和紙が
Oh.
鷹でしたか
Was it
ら
hot? Okay,
刻ま
interesting.
れています。
So that's why,
刻
okay.
印が薄かった、あるいは粗雑だったということだ。
そうです。
Yeah,
戦時下の粗雑な刻印でした。
yeah, more
本来
something.
は
Yeah.
翼を広げた和紙の紋章が刻印されるべきだったのでしょう。それがちょうど斜めに立ち切ったように半分薄れて消えていたのです。
Okay.
翼を広げたワシが半分消えて
Origin on the golden island, origin of the
片翼のワ
crest.
シに見えた。
金蔵は自分の運命を大きく変えたベアトリーチェの黄金に片翼の和紙を見て、
Thus,
それを自
yeah.
分の紋章とすることを決めたに違いあるまい。
Yep.
果たして正しく刻印されていたならそれは共和国旗の鷹だった。
Yeah, for real.
それともまさか
If correctly,
その
then yeah,
いやいや、そんなまさか
would have been different
あ
thing
の
there.
莫大な
But
黄金の山の前で金蔵さんと杯を傾け合いながら黄金ロマンで夜を明かすの
hey,
は
they were
何
vibing.
楽しいことでした。もっとも金蔵さんはその刻印から黄金の出所を探られることを嫌いましてな。外部に持ち出す黄金にはわざわざ自分の片翼の和紙をデザインした別の刻印を打ち直していたようですが、
お前には見せ
Kinzo
るだ
doing
けだ。
that graphic design stuff, like
金蔵もケチだな。
無論大富豪
he
に
said,
な
I'll
った
just change it a little
金
bit.
蔵さんは再び私の元へ訪れ未払いだった治療費をしっかり払ってくれましたとも。
Okay,
治療費にはちと多すぎましたのでな。
would have been much.
ち
Okay,
ゃんとお釣りを払いましたが。
oh,
それ
that's
以来
nice.
おじい様と
Nanjo,
交
an
流を
honest doctor.
そうです。
Uh-huh.
金蔵さんは私が秘密を守ってベアトリーチェをかくまったことをことの
Of
ほか
course,
深く感
became
謝
a
してくれ
long
ました
time trustworthy friend.
おじい様はかつての小田原の親族たちは欲深の嘘つきばかりだとおっしゃっていました。南條先生の義理堅さが嬉しかったに違いありません。
Exactly. Yeah, he had someone else outside of that, you know.
どうしてあなたにだけは心を開いたのかわかる気がします。
Yep.
私にも多少の異国趣味とチェスの趣味がありましてな。金蔵さんとは以来
He said, "Yo, we
意気を
also
投合
had
しま
some
した
other stuff, you know."
こうして
Okay.
細々としかし気づけば随分と長くお付き合いをさせてもらっています。
大きな金を扱うやつほど小さな金にもきっちりしてる。 治療費以上をもらおうとしなかったあんたの律儀さに惹かれるところもあったんだろうよ。
とんでもない。大きなお金に怯えてしまっただけです。後になってから後悔しましたとも。どうにも昔から肝が小さいものでしてな。
そんなことはね。肝は十分に不定さ。
One thing you got no shortage of.
お世辞でも嬉しいですね。
You're welcome.
政治じゃねえ。
He really meant that. After Kinzo dies, Nanjo is complicit in keeping his death secret for at least a whole year, yep. Of course, Natsu must have given him a fairly hefty sum of hush money. At the same time, he's at least gutsy enough to withstand the pressure from Kinzo's children for that amount of time without slipping up once. Some hush money right there. Yeah, really gutsy, man.
切りがたいのがお前の性分なんだろうよ。
それしか取り柄がないものでして。
Hey.
おじい様は良い友人に恵まれたと思い
He
ます。
really was. Really fortunate enough, he was the doctor he ran into. It's true. He could have had a different doctor they would have to deal with and then have to have all those secrets and whatnot. Oh, I can't undo that. Okay. The birth of Beatrice. Okay, I'm going to end it right here as I'm tired and I'm hungry. We'll continue with this backstory, though.
おじい様にとって
It was nice though seeing... Okay, I thought you were about to tell you the whole sentence. It was nice though seeing, like, you know, the background, you know, how the gold got to the island. How he met, you know, Beatrice, essentially, you know. Then the whole thing with the revival, the golden witch and everything. Then how he met Nanjo. Yeah, that was really nice. I did save, right? Yeah, I did. Interesting. Then that whole background of Kinzo doing some crazy stuff. But yo, thank you for tuning in. Have yourselves a nice night as well. Next stream will be on Thursday. And yeah, tomorrow I'm starting off some new shows on the channel. As the... I was like, why is this still playing background? As the fall season officially starts for me. So yeah, other than that, yeah, enjoy the rest of your week. If I don't see you all on Thursday, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm about to eat me some good foods, yo. I smelled someone cooking something good earlier. Man, I'm about to grub. So, yo, anyways, I'll see y'all later. Peace and out.